Hi, this is Jack Pollack at the IPG Media Lab. I'm alongside Philip Resnik, University of Maryland professor, also founder of React Labs, a mobile real-time polling service. We've heard about real-time polling. You guys are doing something a little bit different. Can you talk about the product and kind of what led you to start this?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So React Labs is basically a way of capturing people's real-time responses and opinions in response to whatever it is they're watching. The background for it is, if you look at traditional survey sorts of methods, those have a whole variety of limitations, not least of which is that you can't actually capture people's unmediated in-the-moment responses. And there's a lot of value to that level of fine-grainedness. Kind of at the other end of the spectrum, you've got Twitter, where you've got something that's sort of real-time, and you've got floods and floods of data, but it's really hard to interpret. You can do sentiment analysis and get some value out of that, but even with that, you don't have detailed information about the individuals, demographics, issue preferences, the kind of things you'd want to ask them. And then sort of in the middle, you've got dial testing, which is very widely used, but has its own limitations. You've got just a single dimension of response, so it's hard to know why people are responding. You've got this sort of single like-dislike dimension. It's expensive. It can be a little bit clunky. And so basically what React Labs is doing is trying to roll the best attributes of all of those up into a single platform. So it allows you to get people in front of something in the setting that they're used to it right now, which is watching something with a mobile device in their hand, which is what people are doing now. It lets people get into it without making them download or install anything, because it's done as a web app. You just need to get them a link via text message or email or a site or a tweet. They take a survey at the beginning of whatever kind you'd like, with, sliders and checkboxes and radio buttons or text responses. And the meat of the app is basically a real-time reaction screen that's similar in spirit to a dial test, but is activated by button taps so that you can actually select what you're responding to and what your response is. But it's a very natural interaction. Yep. A tap, tap, and boom, you've got a response. Unlike a dial, for example, where people turn the dial and then they leave it, and you're not quite sure exactly what they were responding to.
Yeah, it's definitely a little more nuanced than the traditional dial testing. We were talking earlier about some of the testing that you did around the Super Bowl ads, which is certainly an interesting use case. Are there any others that you're excited about?
Oh, absolutely. So the background for this is that as an academic, I was interested in how people respond to political language. I'm interested in the way that language shapes our perceptions and our opinions. That's kind of what got this going on the research side. And I actually launched with between 3,000 and 4,000 students across the country using React Labs to respond to Obama and Romney in the debates. And so there's absolutely a large broadcast event in the political domain, as well as things like ad testing within the political domain and in other domains. There's also a live events use case, which we've been taking advantage of, where people are responding in real time to what they're watching or hearing, and you can either be showing that along with the speaker, or the speaker can be monitoring it in order to better gauge what's going on with the audience. And finally, there is the sort of the video content testing scenario, where people are actually not doing this en masse at the same time, but they're looking at it individually, and then you're aggregating their responses. Those are a couple of the major use cases, and right now we are doing a lot of brainstorming and interested in exploring more as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
For more news like this, check back at ipglab.com.